everybody. Today we're going to talk a little bit about fertilizing and what it takes to fertilize your lawn. There's a lot of different products out there, a lot of different things that you can buy for your lawn that have to do with fertilizers. Now, one of the things that I like to do, and I recommend to all my customers, is look for a nursery in your local area that formulates usually a 4-step program. The 4-step programs are usually full of different ingredients that are formulated for your particular area. So we live in Utah, and so the Rocky Mountain region, we actually live in a desert, but they formulate the different 4-step program fertilizers for this particular area. So today we're in the 21st of June, and we're going to do the second application of step 2. Now, when I say the second application, what I like to do and what I always recommend is taking the fertilizer and buying the bag. Now, depending on how big of a yard you have will depend on how much fertilizer you need. But typically, what you want to do, you look for, it either comes in a 5,000 square foot bag or 10,000 square feet bag. So what I do is I will make sure that everybody doesn't just take the whole bag, dump it in the spreader and spread it all out at one time. A lot of people will do that. The problem with that is if you're not sure what the square footage is of your particular lawn, you could actually over fertilize, and then you can burn your lawn. You could have some other issues that kind of creep up by doing that. So what I recommend doing is first know kind of the size of yard that you have. My particular yard that I'm working on right now, it's about 2,500 square feet. And so what I'm going to do is roughly take the bag of 5,000 square feet. I'm going to just take half of it and put it in the hopper, and then I'm going to save the next half for the next month. And what I like to do is I really like having something on my lawn every month. So you can take these 4-step programs, break them into half, and then do a little bit 1 month, 4 weeks later hit the same step again, and then just follow that protocol. So usually start in our area, we like to start in March. So I'll do step 1 in March and in April. So half the bag in March, half the bag in April. Then I'll move to step 2, do half the bag in May, and then half the bag in June. So that's where we're at today, is we're going to do a half a bag of step number 2. Okay, so this is a typical spreader. Mine happens to be a pretty old spreader. This is the Scott's Speedy Green 3000. It doesn't matter really the brand or necessarily the kind that you have, but what I'm going to explain to you is kind of how the hopper, that's that black door, how that's going to open and close, and how every spreader is a little bit different. Now, each fertilizing bag, so if this is the fertilizing bag, on the back of it, it'll give you recommendations on how to set your spreader. So somewhere in there, it'll say where to put it. Now, on my particular brand for the Scots, it's saying to put it on the number 5. So I set it on the number 5. And what that's going to do is allow the hopper to only open so far. Now, this is one thing that I always recommend too. If you start out with it completely at 0, mine doesn't completely shut off, and so that's an inconsistency with my spreader versus other people's spreader, and that could be because of the tension on the cable. It could be because of how the spreader was made. So what I recommend doing is always shutting it down to the lowest setting and then slowly working it back up until you get a nice distribution of the fertilizer coming out. Like I said, it's better to do a little bit instead of too much. And so I'm going to fill the hopper, and then I'll kind of show how that works. Okay, now we have the hopper filled. That's about half a bag, so the bucket on this is pretty large. So I'm just going to set it on the low setting, and I'm going to engage the lever here, and I'm going to start distributing. Now, you'll hopefully see there's barely anything that's coming out of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly increase to the next couple notches, because most of these different fertilizers are going to have different size grains on them. These are all different sizes, but now you can start seeing, if I go slow, there you go, you can start seeing some of it starting to come out. So I'm going to adjust it just a little bit more, open it up just a little bit more. And now I'm starting to get a pretty good distribution. I don't know if you can see that. I'll kind of zoom in a little bit. But you get a nice distribution of product coming out. So now what I'm going to do is, I'll kind of show you on my yard. What I do is, so where it's long like this, I'm going to go up and down this way, and I'll hit that one time, and then I'll go back and forth this way. You don't have to have them totally close together. I'll go maybe 1.5 of the lawnmower lengths, if that makes sense, and then just kind of go back and forth one way and then come back the other way. One of the things that I recommend as well is, by having it on a lower setting, you'll be able to control how much is going down. It's better to go across the lawn 20 times than it is to go back and forth 2 to 3 times, so you don't get too much product going down at one time.